Yeah.
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We are from Fashion Republic Games, and we're here to chat about one of our maps in GigaBash.
GigaBash.
Cut.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today.
Hello.
Yeah.
We are from Fashion Republic Games, and we're here to chat about one of our maps in GigaBash. So I'm Rohana. I'm one of the project managers here in Fashion Republic Games, and here with us today is Mel, our art and game director, and Hong, our concept artist.
Hello.
Okay, so
Shall we?
Yeah.
So we just jump right in.
Yeah. Okay. So why is it called Tara Bak?
Actually, we went through a few iterations. Like you guys might notice, like in the beginning, we called the map Borneo,
Yeah.
right? Obviously, we wanted, coming from Malaysia, we wanted to reference or to kind of do a bit of a shout out to our home country, and also bring our like just put in our mark in the game. So we wanted to call Borneo, but as we developed the level, as we developed the visuals for the level specifically, it became clear that the visuals doesn't really match up with what Borneo actually looks like in terms of the architecture of the buildings, and I mean there's reasons for it, obviously. So we kind of decided in the end that we don't. It's better to kind of make it into a fictional island, and kind of tie that in with the lore as well. So it's sort of a play on tropes of like King Kong, for example. They have their Kong Island, the Skull Islands, for example. So we wanna play off that trope and kind of come up with something of our own. Why we chose the name Tara Bak is because it's loosely based on a fruit. It's called tarap, Tarap. That's indigenous to Borneo. So we kind of play around with that word and came up with the name Tara Bak. Yeah, that's basically how it went.
So about our map,
Yeah.
Tara Bak. What do you guys like about it, and like what's your favorite?
I'm quite proud of this part. So I kind of came up with the idea of like hiding in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I was.
Was it you?
Yeah, it was me.
Was
It's
it?
definitely me. Of course, it's me. What are you talking about, man? It was definitely me. I was very proud of it. Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
yeah. But
Yeah, that's a great mechanic.
That's the mechanic that I'm quite proud of, lah. So when I was drawing the tree, I was like, okay, the trees are there. There are the bushes. There must be something fun you can play with it, right?
Yeah.
So I thought about like, okay, what if we can hide in the trees? When maybe the player go inside, and then their UI bar will just be missing, and then you only see like maybe a little bit of like leaf flying off. Yeah. So it's kind of like a funny thing that we can players can just stay there and wait, when then let the others fight, Yeah. So after that, we also thought about like, okay, having a hiding mechanic is a bit too passive. What if we have something more aggressive, right? So that's where we came about like, hey, there's this thing in Malaysia, maybe in the Asian culture, there's this thing called rotan, where
It's basically a cane, right?
yeah, it's basically a cane.
It could be
where-
anything. I mean, it could be a clothes
Yeah,
hanger. It
yeah,
could be
yeah, exactly.
a belt.
Yeah, so Asian parents they love to hit their kids, when they're naughty.
No, they don't love to hit their kids. Come on, I'm a parent. I know.
Yeah, but maybe because we deserve it, like we are really naughty, and then that's the only way they can discipline us. So they just hit us all the time back then. Yeah, so we thought about like, hey, rotan. Rotan is a cane, and then cane is made out of like those trees, and
Yeah.
it was like, what if we can make like one of the big tree you can hit the other players with it, right? So that kind of ties in. And then we're like, hey, that kind of looks like us, Our parents is holding a tree and then hitting us. Then we are like trying to hide in the trees, So the whole idea kind of be there, yeah. And then we also have another mechanic where it's the flower, the referential flower.
Yeah.
So sometimes Asian parents, they love to embarrass their kids.
No, that's not what it is.
Yeah, like sometimes they
Why?
in front of your I don't know, that's my parents, like
your aunties,
yeah, the aunties or maybe your friends, they'll be like, oh no, mom, stop, So we thought about it like, hey, what if we have that the cone of shame? So that's where the referential flower came out. Like if you throw at someone and then hit someone, the flower will be on top of the guy's head. So and everyone will see like, that's the guy who got hit by the flower, So we also thought about a lot of other mechanics as well, but a lot
Actually,
of
we threw away a lot
Yeah,
of mechanics.
yeah.
We kind of prototype quite a lot.
Yeah.
Even like one of it was like a giant boulder.
Yeah, like Indiana Jones
style
giant boulder.
giant
Yeah.
boulder, but
remember
apparently it's not big enough. Or
Yeah.
It's
And
it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not that fun when we test.
Maybe in the
it.
future if we find
Yeah.
a way to make it work, but
Yeah.
for now, we kind of left it out.
And I think also this is the map that made us thought like, what if we put humans into the world? Because at the beginning we made like Tokyo City, then we made this the Tarabak map. Then we're like, the city feels really dead. Like there's no life in the city. So that's where it came out like, okay, what if we add tiny humans inside there, running around, so it kind of gives life to the environment, and at the same time it also helps with the scaling as well, because like building like big, medium, and small building, and then a small human. So we can look at the map and still kind of believe that, okay, this place is really huge. Yeah, so that's how the human came about as well, the tiny human in the map. Yeah.
I think there was also a feedback from Shuhei.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that he mentioned that I remember it was something like it was just a random question like, oh, are there any humans in there?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we just like, yeah, why not add something simple? We're not doing something that's
Yeah.
really really
High,
high budget
yeah.
or high
Yeah.
high fidelity, but because they're just there to kind of
Just running
Just running around. Yeah, the hands
for
always
people
like
to
that.
step
Yeah.
It's just simple stuff, but then it adds so much to the experience, to the theme.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's this. I think that's also one of the challenge that we have. Like, how can we have certain mechanic that makes sense as a giant thing?
Yeah.
We can't, like, in real life they have a lot of really fun mechanics, but it doesn't make sense if it turn into really big. It will create like
exactly.
you break the idea of like you are really huge,
Yeah.
and the thing's really small.
That's something that we're really conscious about when we're designing the mechanics. We always try to, to a certain extent, it can be a little bit more exaggerated, like the scaling of the flower, like the tree being super tall. But there are trees like that, but probably not as hard. It will sort of break first time
Yeah,
you do it.
yeah.
But we always try to maintain the scale.
One of the challenge that I face is quite limiting to create design the lighting for the map, because if you
It's
look
a
at
top-down, right?
Yeah, it's a top-down view. You can't play with like really cool lighting. Like the game's in the third-person point of view. So there's only a limited amount of exploration I can go for. So I try like the raining one, the lightning strikes, sunset, foggy. But at the end, I still need to think about the hierarchy of everything. That certain things cannot be. How to say, basically the visibility of the characters and all the other things cannot be overpowered by the lighting itself. So that's one of the challenges that I face. But I think at the end we pull through. I think
Hopefully.
yeah, hopefully, yeah. That was interesting things that happened, because at the beginning we didn't think too much about the hierarchy of value and saturation and everything. So everything came out kind of like noisy, but everything is trying to grab your attention. The character is grabbing your attention, the environment is grabbing your attention. So until one day in this event, there's this really experienced concept artist. His name is called Hong Li. So shout out to him. He came over. So I invited him to come over to our booth and like ask him for some feedback, because he's a really experienced concept artist. So I asked him like, hey, what do you think about the visual of the map? So he told us things in really detailed kind of way, like hierarchy of value and saturation. So he broke it down to like, okay, so VFX. The VFX in the game have to be the highest saturation and highest contrast point, and then the character will be the second. Then after that will be the items that character can pick up. Then the buildings. Then only the ground. So he explained it in a way, because VFX is the first, because VFX only comes out once in a while, and you have to be impactful and have to let players know like, hey, I did something, right?
Yeah.
So that has to be like the most shiny and the most interesting thing that happened once in a while. Then after that is the character, because character is the thing that players control and they can always look at it. Then only the item, because the item is something that you attract players to interact with it. Then only the buildings, then only the floor, because the floor is just there for the player to be grounded on the ground. Yeah, so after he told us that, then we were like, oh my god, I can't unsee the problem now. Yeah, so after the event, I went back and I kind of like spent a few days just to correct the overall color value to make it better, and visibility wise also is way better right now. Yeah.
All this game development stuff is quite new for us.
Yeah.
And we want to stay, open, and we want to stay iterative in our process. We don't want to be like, okay, that's all the time we have, and then that's it. Just ship it, even though it sucks or even though it's not fun. We always wanna keep changing it or fixing it until it's fun or until it's viable for it's very valuable for the product.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's a party game. We want people to enjoy when they play the game. We don't want any. We try to avoid anything that causes you to
Not frustrating.
Yeah.
Not frustrating.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of mechanics, we want to talk about like how we design our mechanics or how we decide what mechanics are good. I think a general pointer for us is that the mechanics shouldn't be too. It should be like at least for me, I feel like it should be tools. They should be tools for you to play with. I always think from direction like you're Jackie Chan in a scene, right? And then there's things around you. Just pick up and throw at people, or just use things around you. That kind of feeling when you are. I mean, I don't want anything. We're not going like to do anything too complicated or too hard to use. It should be impulsive. It should be quick and easy to use. And it should be, and obviously it needs to stay in character in on theme. But yeah, what was I really ranting on? Anyways, yeah. So that's sort of the rules that we kind of set for ourselves. It should be tools. It shouldn't be. I was gonna say.
Tools. Jackie Chan.
It shouldn't be, like something that is like a tool in someone that knows how to use it would be helpful. So we want something like that where the players have control and they need to use it to be to kind of inflict damage on it. It doesn't have value on its own if it's not being picked up or it's not being interacted with. That's all the rules are. So we don't want something that kind of just happens in the world. I mean, we do have hazards and stuff, but I mean in a way that is not too frustrating or too annoying. But generally a lot of the items or all the mechanics in the level should stay that way. Like you can choose to hide, but you can also ignore it or you can just break it away. It's not like it's something there to kind of annoy you, kind of make the game not fun. Sorry, that's sort of the idea how we approach design mechanics.
I think that's all the time that we have.
Okay. I think we could go on for like hours.
Because there was a lot of things going on behind the scenes.
So stay tuned for more from us.
Press the subscribe button. Press like.
Press
all the boxes or anything.
Remember, stay tuned tomorrow.
Sign up for newsletter.
That's a terrible outro.